Hey guys, welcome to the new video, and this video is an extension of the previous video. So in the previous video we saw the daemon set pattern of deploying the OpenTelemetry collector to enable the distributed tracing, but in this video we are going to see the sidecar pattern to enable the distributed tracing. So without any further ado, let's get started. So I have this high level architecture of what we are going to do today. So our application, in the last video, if you remember, we were having two applications, which was the Node.js application and the second one was the Java application. And in this video, we will going to have the similar kind of approach, but as a sidecar pattern. So essentially our OpenTelemetry collector is going to be deployed as a container within the pod of those application, and that is going to be done by our OpenTelemetry operator itself. So we are going to automatically inject these collectors, and our applications are now going to send those traces to these collectors, not to any external, because we don't have any daemon set or anything like that in this setup. We have these sidecars, and application are going to send the traces to the sidecar. And we have one more collector. So this collector is going to receive the data from all these sidecar containers that are present in the application, and then again the next steps are same. So essentially our Jaeger and New Relic, they are going to get the data from this OpenTelemetry collector deployment. So without any further ado, let me open my terminal, and from there let's see the code as well for this, and then we will be going to see how we can do the deployment of this. So I have deleted all the resources. Essentially I have deleted the collectors and daemon sets and the application as well. And now let me make you walk through the sidecar pattern approach through the code. So if I go to the VS Code here, you can see we have one folder which is a sidecar pattern, and here again we have three files. So the main file that is the core of this whole setup is this OpenTelemetry collector sidecar file. And here if you see the mode, so the mode is sidecar, and this is running on the host network, and rest of the things are all pretty much same. So basically our OpenTelemetry collector is now going to automatically inject these OpenTelemetry collector instances to our application based on some annotations. So those annotations we are going to see, and then we have the OpenTelemetry collector endpoint. This is going to point to our OpenTelemetry collector deployment, and all these sidecar are going to forward those traces to this instance of the deployment, and from there Jaeger and New Relic platform are going to consume those traces. Rest of the things are pretty much same here. Then this is the OpenTelemetry collector. This is exactly same that we saw in the last video as well, so nothing new is here. Let me add the API key here for the New Relic platform. So this was the API key. And by the way, like this API key is not going to be working in your case, because I'm going to delete this API key by the end of this video. So if you want to use New Relic platform, feel free to create an account and then create your own API key. So rest of the things are fine here, I guess. Yeah, so I can simply deploy these resources. And another thing, I want to show you the app.yaml file, and how our OpenTelemetry collector is essentially able to inject those sidecar containers. So here, if you see, we have one annotation inside the template section, and this annotation is helping the OpenTelemetry collector to inject those sidecar containers. And also, since this sidecar is present within the pod itself, so here this time, instead of using any kind of a service here, we are essentially going to forward those requests to localhost 4371, because our sidecar container shares the same networking space. So that's why we can use localhost, and then this is the port over which our sidecar container is running. This is the same thing we have done for the Java application here as well. So if you see here, we have added the auto annotation for automatic injection, and then here we are setting the value to localhost :4317. Let me quickly deploy these files. So I will first deploy this OpenTelemetry collector, then I will deploy the sidecar, and then I will deploy the application. I have to move out of this directory and go to Sidecar Pattern. Yeah, so our collector that was working as a deployment that got created. Now let's create the sidecar collector. So essentially, it is not going to create the sidecar immediately. Rather, it will create a collector, and that collector will keep track of those annotations for us. So whenever it will find those annotations, then it is going to inject the container there. Yeah, so it got created. Now let's deploy the application. And if you will see the containers, so like these pods, so you will see that these pods are going to have two containers rather than one. So here you can see our Java application and Node application. You can see this time they have two containers, and first one is our application, and the second one, if you see, this is the OpenTelemetry collector container. So our application is going to send those traces to this instance of OpenTelemetry collector, and then this collector is going to send those requests or those traces to this instance of the OpenTelemetry collector, and then this is going to forward uh, those traces to either to the Jaeger and as well as to our New Relic dashboard. So let me do the port forwarding again here. So this is for the Node.js application, and let me do for the Jaeger as well. Let's try to call some endpoints here. So let me call first endpoint, which is hello. Yeah, so it worked successfully. Let's move to the Jaeger and see if we have those traces here or not. So here you can see this is the trace that just got generated right now. This was a few seconds ago, and if I show you, so this is that hello one. So here you can see that the endpoint that we hit was hello. Now let's call some other endpoints as well. Let me call the random endpoint. Yeah, so it returns data successfully. Let's see that. Let me do the find trace, and you can see this is the one. So here you can see, if I expand it, so you can see that this was for the random, and you can basically get a lot of insights from these traces as well, like when was your request sent, how much time it took, and a couple of other details as well you can find from this dashboard. Let's call the third endpoint, which was call, and this is going to make a request to our Spring Boot application. Yeah, so Spring Boot application returned hello world. Let's see this here as well, if we have the trace for this as well. Yeah, so you can see this is the trace, and you can see that it basically called two different microservices. So first one was a Node app, and second one was a Java application. Let's go to the New Relic platform and see if we are able to find these traces there as well. So this is the New Relic dashboard. Let me go to the services, and let me open this Node app. Yeah, so we can see we got some throughputs here, some like requests were made, and if I go to the distributed tracing, so we should see those traces here as well. So this is the one, and here you can see this is the one that we just hit, and this should be for the call endpoint. Yeah, so you can see this for the call endpoint, and it made a request to our Java application. And here you can see the graph, like how the request was traveled between these two services. You can also get like more details from the side panel, so you can see the attributes here, and then you can see the performance related stuff, and then you have a detail section which gives you a basic details like the timestamp and the entity to which this request was made. So this was pretty much it for this video. Hope you like this video, and if you did like this video, then please give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any doubts or any queries, feel free to drop them into the comment box. I will definitely try to answer them, and I will see you in the next one.